Devin Booker. Devin Booker, I love a lot of these players in the league, by the way, but Devin Booker is another player that I do follow. I'm just really disappointed with how he played in these playoffs against the Mavericks. I believe it was what, the first round or second round? No, the first round they beat whatever team they were playing. I don't remember. I think it was the Hornets, not the Pelicans. I think it was the Pelicans team. But after they beat that Pelicans team, yeah, with Jose Alvarado and Brandon Ingram, they played the Dallas Mavericks, and Devin Booker got shown up, and it was quite embarrassing. When you put into consideration Devin Booker has been playing for like what, 4 to 5 years in the league now. He's damn near a veteran. What says Luka Doncic, who's probably what, that was like his second year in the league, maybe third. I know Devin Booker got at least 3 years on him being in this league, um, and I thought he turned the corner. Devin Booker is already great, and you've seen what he's accomplished. You know, putting himself in the MVP conversation. Uh, But really and truly, it wasn't really the stats that put him in the MVP conversation more than it was uh, the team, the Phoenix Suns' overall success as a team with the record that they had. Devin Booker didn't show that in playoffs, being the quote unquote best player of that team. I'm not really expecting much from Chris Paul, and I'm not saying that to throw shade on Chris Paul. It's just the dude has been in the league for quite some time, and you can't always expect him to show up in these playoff games, especially when he's only 6 feet, going up against guys like Drew Holiday and guys that are applying pressure on him on the defensive end. He got old legs. I'm not really expecting him, and then at the end of the day, he's a facilitator. He's not a top scorer. Devin Booker's main job is really to score the ball, and so when he's not really scoring, what is he really giving you? He still has a lot to learn when it comes to playmaking and facilitating. With the turnovers that I've seen from him, that was definitely improved upon this year. So big ups to Devin Booker. But if I'm keeping it real with you guys, and again, this is not my business. I'm not really trying to get into Devin Booker's personal life. But Kendall Jenner seems to be an issue. Just the Kardashians as a whole. I don't want to say he's cursed, because as you see, he out of all of the players that have dated the Jenners and the Kardashians, Devin Booker's the best player out of that bunch. And so he's still going to be a star, but you know, being with a Jenner or a Kardashian, that comes with a certain lifestyle that I'm assuming he'd have to embrace, which it seems like he's willing, because he's been in this relationship with this Kendall Jenner chick for about 2 years, maybe going on three, maybe. And I feel like ever since that relationship has started, it's stunted his growth on the floor, which is sad to say, because throughout the years I've seen a huge improvements in certain areas from his game. And since he started dating Kendall, I just haven't been seeing it. He started shooting more threes, but 2 3 years ago he was a way better 3 point shooter than he is now. Um, I see Donovan. I feel like Donovan Mitchell in certain aspects leaped uh, Devin Booker, especially in that playoffs when he was going up against the Denver Nuggets and Donovan Mitchell showed his ass. That's just one of the things that I'm talking about. Devin Booker needs to start coming correct, but it gets to a certain point where I then have to ask myself, and this is a real thing with me. I think Devin Booker, with all of the ability and the skills that he possesses, I feel like he'll always be limited to a certain regard, and that's because he's hampered by not being that athletic at that position. Him being 6'4", 6'5", if he's not, if he doesn't have I don't want to say that. Like I said, it's just that extra bit of athleticism that I think he's missing, where guys like Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram, they have the edge over him. So Devin Booker has to be very crisp, which is why you see he's a great mid-range shot, mid-range jump shooter, and he shoots a lot of these contested shots, and he's so skilled at it. But he practices those shots, and you see him do a lot of fadeaways. But uh, if he doesn't, Devin Booker has to work harder than the next player to get a clean look. And I think a reason for that is because he's a little bit limited athletically. And so guys are always constantly there in front of him. But I think a way that he can possibly combat that is working on his handles. His handles, for the most part, when I watch him, is very basic. Tries to hit you with a hezzy go left with the layup and make tough shots in traffic, but sometimes you need to make it easier on yourself. And I think a way he can possibly do that is by improving his ball handles. That's something that he should probably think about going forward uh, in the off season and things of that nature. Um, and I just wanted to shift over to Jason Tatum as well. Let's talk about Jason Tatum. That playoffs was ugly. That finals series was ugly. Um, but I've always